Good afternoon and welcome to another Super Secret Project sketch. This is Eric Whalen from Super Secret Project X, and today is warm and been a bit of a week, so we're kind of, I think, toned down a little bit this week, which is fine. As nice of a day as it is, I'd be kind of surprised if we get a whole lot of people anyway, so just gonna get into it. If you want to. It's up to you. Just trying to find the page. There we go. Alright. Today, because last week I had terrible internet connection. We skipped over Jigen. We'll be doing that next month. But we're going to do one of my favorite characters from America the Motion Picture, Thomas Edison. Thought she was adorable and funny. Actually, I thought that whole movie was funny. I don't think it's funny to people who take things too seriously, but I think overall it was a very funny movie.
It was really fun. It was
So
silly.
tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah, very tongue-in-cheek and silly, and definitely didn't take itself very serious.
Well, it took nothing seriously.
And it was just really off the chain, weird, and goofy, and just all around fun. I just think it was just, it was that stupid, just, probably like middle school sense of humor, but in a good way.
Yeah, but really like obscene and mature and, well, mature.
I thought it was fun.
Yeah, it's gonna watch it again because we definitely didn't catch all the jokes the first time around because
We're laughing pretty good.
we were laughing too hard. I think some people probably watched that and took things. I don't see how anyone could take that movie seriously, but like I was just having a great time the whole time because everything was so continually just really ridiculous. This is the second thing I've seen Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum?
Thank you, Jesus. Second thing, because all I seem to really know him in is his voice acting stuff, and he's funny. Channing Tatum. There we go, Jesus. Apparently he's some kind of movie star. I haven't seen the movies he's in, so I don't know.
Yeah, same here. I think he was. I don't know if he was in. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't feel like looking it up either.
Yeah, I honestly don't have a clue about him other than Comrade Detective and this. He seems to go for very peculiar, kind of off-kilter things, which is really great.
I want to say he was in some movie.
He looks like that kind of some movie guy, like he's just kind of that pretty white guy kind of thing.
It was either like some big action movie or like, was it Magic Mike or like one of the movies that pretty much showed off. It was basically him being a pretty face, and I can't remember which one it was. Which now I'm probably gonna look it up because.
Yeah, because honestly, outside of like the two things where he was voice actors in it, maybe I've seen him in something. Maybe he was the guy in Battleship. I don't honestly recall.
Let's say he was in like it was. Oh no, I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna just look it up. My brain power to do anything today is just pretty much
Well, both of us are a little fried right now.
not fried in the way you're thinking.
No,
Folks.
no. I've got a mild headache. I'm a little tired from the week. Still trying to wind down this weekend. Just like no matter what I've tried to do, I can't quite seem to shut off completely. Which is, I've gotten like a bunch of little things done, which is nice, but I also kind of,
That's right. okay, I was right. He was in that Magic Mike movie. That's
That-
where he came in from.
I don't even know if I know this Magic Mike movie.
It was a movie about male strippers.
Well,
Like I said,
it's not a genre I typically go for, so there you go.
yeah, like I said, pretty. It was something about being a pretty boy, and that's literally what it was. And its sequel, Magic Mike Double XL,
Nice.
literally about a 19-year-old who enters the world of male stripping. He was also in the 21 Jump Street movie and its sequel. He was,
Why would you remake 21 Jump Street? It's not even... I just don't even get that, but okay.
he was actually, he played Duke in the live-action G.I. Joe movie and its sequel.
So really, America the Motion Picture was so far the highlight of his career.
Well, he was in The Hateful Eight, which we haven't watched yet.
In what?
The Hateful Eight.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen that. You're right. Can't say anything about that, but
And then,
all I can say is I've loved his voice acting so far. I think he's funny. I think he's a funny voice actor. He's really good at just playing just like a kind of a dumb dude.
apparently he was the little boy in the church in War of the Worlds.
What, the original War? Like,
No, the 2005.
I was about to say, I'm like, he can't be that old.
No.
He was in George Powell's War of the Worlds. I'm like, really? Then the moment you said that, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, the Tom Cruise War of the Worlds. Okay, yeah, the boy in the church.
He played. He was Superman in the Lego movie.
It's awesome. Okay, yeah, I gotta say, I'm liking his voice acting. I think he's a fun voice actor.
What else?
I can't speak much for his live action stuff because I haven't seen a ton of it. So.
Yeah. Comrade Detective. What is that?
Still, I got all the way through until the last one or two episodes, and then I put it down for whatever reason, because I was definitely enjoying it, but I never picked it back up, and I think I need to go back and finish that, because I remember really enjoying Comrade Detective. Like, it was just so perfectly weird.
Yeah, he was at a pretty decent movie run from 2005 up until current stuff and stuff that's coming out. So, and he's 41 years old. So,
Good for him.
yeah.
Well, that whole I was a teenage stripper movie thing didn't work for me, but I'm glad it worked for him. I was a teenage wear stripper.
That sounds like something that needs to be made.
I know, doesn't it? Now that I really think about it, and teenage wear stripper versus stripper Stein in Vegas. I'd watch that too.
That would be a Thottenstein. That hole over there.
What would it be?
Thottenstein. That hole over there. THOT.
Oh.
Thottenstein.
See, I think your brain's moving a little quicker than mine right now.
Oh, it's had nothing else to do today since I haven't been feeling good.
But no, I enjoyed America the Motion Picture. I thought that was really just so perfectly absurd, so constantly. Like, whoever came up with that just has a really solid grasp of absolutely absurd, ridiculous, inappropriate, and yet kept it fresh all the way through.
Right.
And really had again, absurd, but absurdly wonderful, like, world building and character design, and like they always seem to make the right pick the right direction, in the way that they went the wrong direction with it constantly. Like, it was just like, no, we shouldn't do this thing that would make and I mean a good movie, like a good, like, normal movie. They were like, no, let's go over here and do this really awkward, weird thing that's really funny. Like, I love the whole, they went to the Vietnam restaurant and attacked the Brits, and Thomas Edison was going like, we can't go into Vietnam, it's a quagmire. And it was just, the whole thing was so clearly the Vietnam War. And it was commentary on the Vietnam War during the American Revolution with Americans fighting the Brits, but it was in a restaurant, a Vietnamese restaurant. It was just so funny. Everything about it was so ridiculous. Don't go in there, it's a quagmire, we'll never get out. You know, it's just like, oh, wonderful.
It was stupid and brilliant at the exact same time.
That's what I'm saying. It was just a wonderfully silly, like there was some social commentary here and there, but nothing that was like too really serious. There's a few moments where they had some really solid like political commentary, but it was just like in little teeny tiny snippets, you know, and just the whole bit with Geronimo being in there, and just he's just no matter what side he picked, he was basically picking the wrong side. And Samuel Adams just being like the biggest horrible racist to him constant, like just everything about that. What was it? Was it Killer Mike that played the one?
John Henry.
John Henry, thank you. Oh my God, he was so funny.
I love the looks that John Henry and Geronimo kept giving each other when they were talking about like the all men are created equal, or the they would just give each other just subtle looks.
And my favorite moment is wait a minute, that's right, Americans can be all different races. And then he goes, I'm not racist anymore. And just Geronimo just looks at him with this flat look. Just, hey, Geronimo, I'm not racist anymore. Oh my God, I just couldn't stop laughing through the whole movie. Just the stuff that they did. And then just the rest of it just being absolutely absurd humor. Really good, solid, absurd humor. And I just had such a good time.
That team did a really fun job. And I mean, it was from some of the guys who did Archer, so that explains a lot of the humor and stuff.
Well, it also explains kind of how it looked. It wasn't exactly Archer looking, but it looked like they were using similar kind of means.
Yeah, they definitely had a some of the art direction was definitely going that way.
They like made it a little toonier, but yeah, definitely. I just love the fact that Thomas Edison was a hot Chinese chick who believed in science, when everyone else just basically believed in witchcraft. There's no such thing as science, you know, like. And basically she was trying to get rid of witchcraft, and no one was paying attention to her because science isn't real, you know.
They all just started laughing at her. Like,
oh man, it was such a funny movie. Definitely not going to be the favorite for some people. Anyone who takes stuff too seriously will not be able to watch this movie.
Yeah.
Or takes things personally. Like, there's a lot in this movie where you should not be taking anything personally, because everything is insulting to, like, everybody in this movie. But yeah, no, Thomas Edison was definitely one of my favorites. She was just hilarious. My favorite moments are like, but we're looking for Thomas Edison the man, and she's like, well, I'm Thomas Edison the scientist. Well, you're supposed to, I guess, be an inventor or something. Well, yeah, that's me. Yeah, but isn't Thomas a guy's name? Well, I mean, I'm named Thomas, so you know. And one of my favorite moments is John Adams getting into her face and going, "What's wrong with your skin?" And I'm going like, "Oh my God!" She's like, I'm Asian. You know, he's like, what? You know, it's just that everything about this movie was so funny and so inappropriate. And
yeah, honestly, stuff like that where you can just take the piss out of anything and do it cleverly. I'm always voting for stuff like that.
oh yeah, just so very funny.
Yeah, there's just
And I mean, they just had line after line after line where you weren't catching everything, where it just kept getting funnier and funnier, more absurd, you know, just... Are you keeping an eye on the Facebook?
yeah.
On the Facebook
Yeah.
Messenger?
Let me check and see. No comments, but hey, someone's watching along with us.
Yes. Thank you, by the way.
I'm trying.
It's not that I'm trying to get this done quickly, but I'm kind of trying to figure out where my headache is going. It's either getting better or it's waiting. It's going to turn into something bad. So I'm kind of going like, oh, try to get this done quickly in case it decides to go south. No, not right now. If it gets worse, maybe.
Just as a thought, usually with headaches and stuff, if you stop them now, it won't get
I'm
worse.
sorry, what?
I said just as a thing, if you stop them now, you won't give them a chance to get worse.
Yeah, that's true. But I'd rather just not take anything at all if possible. Oh, but yeah, no, it's. I have a soft spot for smart heroes. That's what I just loved about Thomas Edison, is she just was trying to save the world with science the whole time. Trying to, like, legitimately smart her way through everything when everyone else is just, like, big, beef knuckle-headed morons with, like, massive weapons just whooping up on everything. And she's just going like, no, let's be smart about this. And they call him just like frat boy, or like, why would we do that? You know?
I mean, Samuel Adams was a literal frat boy.
He was literally a giant, just dumb frat boy. He was so funny. And what I love was George Washington attempting to be like a good guy, but he was so dumb. You know, like he was like legitimately trying to be a great person, but he was just an idiot. You know, and like Abraham Lincoln, I know none of this makes sense, but in the movie, Abraham Lincoln, his best friend that died via a British werewolf attack. Seriously, and he was like the smart one. And so it was kind of like, you're like, oh no, the wrong one died. Poor Abe. And then, like, the whole thing was like George Washington trying to learn to be a smart hero. It was just really good. Like, nothing about the movie actually made sense. That's what the great part about it was. It was just continually ridiculous all the way through. I mean, right down to the plot where the Brits were trying to seed the clouds with tea that would convert every American into a Brit with bad teeth. The whole thing was ridiculous, and they save the world, they save America with beer. I mean, just like, everything was so continually ridiculous.
By the way, Samuel Adams beer, of course.
Samuel Adams beer, yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to say the rest, because
Yeah, there's a number of things we should not say from this movie on the broadcast.
Well, I'm saying just for spoilers' sake, so people can actually watch it and stuff. The ending.
Oh, the ending's great. Yeah, whoever put this particular project together really put together something that was legitimately funny. I mean, old school style. You know, we're going to take risks and say stuff kind of humor. All the while still being clever and still doing interesting things and just being so absurd. So, just, almost even shockingly absurd, where you're going like, wow. Fairly certain they were high while making some of this. This is really absurd. So quiet. Doesn't feel all manly like my other one, but it's a good eraser. The other one was like I was like cutting trees down, which also felt good, but I think this one's actually more powerful.
And, yeah, maybe.
I think one of my favorite things, because it was absolutely nonsensical, was George Washington's weapons was a pair of chainsaws that came out of his sleeves.
Yeah.
The whole time not believing in science. And he has chainsaws built into his, like, onto his forearms, and you're just like... And they didn't even address it. They just... It never came up how nonsensical that was. Everyone's like, oh yeah, we need to get gasoline for George Washington's chainsaws. And just never would address how little sense that made. It was so good.
I can't remember the animation group, unfortunately, and again, this time don't really feel like looking it up. But yeah, it was I'm trying to decide if they were using like the new Toon Boom stuff or so, but it was normally that kind of stuff would be done flash animated wise. But yeah, it was actually fairly smooth for that particular type of animation.
They were using a couple techniques at moments that I hadn't quite exactly seen before, like sort of that spline flash animation kind of thing, but with like some more advanced tools or whatever, and then they spent time making sure there was more frame by frame animation being put into it. And I mean, it was put together well. I mean, it's what it is. It's that style of animation. But for that style of animation, that's probably one of the best I've seen. To the point where I wasn't really noticing. Like in Archer, and I love Archer, but you hit these moments where you're like, yeah, it's that, you know, when they break and do a special bit of animation, it's like a special... The rest of the time, it's like the characters in the animation you've seen before, so...
Right.
But with this, it was...
They put some money into that.
Yeah, they sank some cash into it.
cute so far. Looking good.
Yeah, it's not bad. I'm kind of happy with how quickly I kind of got the structuring roughly right. I mean, I'm not doing exactly what they did. Um, but it's feeling right to me, so.
That's all that matters. It feels good.
Yep.
I don't remember anything else because I was laughing so hard I missed quite a bit, so I'm blanking on a lot of the stuff, unfortunately.
I just the thing that I think that I really liked about it is they didn't care that everything was hideously stereotypical. You know, in the environment where, oh, don't do stereotypes. Everything has to be politically. Don't hurt anybody's feelings. It's like, which is fine if you're dealing with another human being, you know, like diplomatically or as a. But this is comedy. It's comedy isn't safe. It's never supposed to be safe. It just isn't. And this one, they went in and they were like, the British stereotypes and the big dumb American stereotypes and the dumb guy stereotypes and the dumb chick stereotypes and the dumb royalty stereotype. Everything was so based off of these kind of really horrifically insulting stereotypes. And then they would really, really come up with some funny jokes and just play with it and be like kind of self-aware, like it's aware of how dumb they're being and how extremely over the top everything. I mean, the Brits were trying to convert Americans into Brits by seeding the clouds with tea leaves to make it rain tea so everyone becomes British. I mean, it's so stunningly excessively absurd that it just.
Poor Paul Revere.
Oh, Paul Revere was hilarious.
I'm still trying to figure out exactly, was he just supposed to be like a really, like was he supposed to be like mentally challenged, or was he
I don't know
kind of like,
what was up with him.
slightly autistic, or what?
I think he was just supposed to be a dumb guy that his only friend had ever been his horse. You know, like it's just the character was so ridiculous and you know, heroic and ugly and dumb and weird and awkward and great and kind of sweethearted, and it's just this bizarro character. It's like none of the characters matched up to their historical counterparts
of course,
at all. Whenever if somebody ever takes that movie seriously, I might actually have to stop and slap them because it's just like none of it makes sense. Absolutely none of that movie makes any level of sense, and it's hilarious because of it. Just the fight in the Vietnam restaurant against Revolutionary War era British soldiers in wigs and Then they get caught in a quagmire battle that they can't get out of because it's Vietnam. And you're just going like, oh my god! Later on, they're all commenting about how all of the everyone thinks that they won the Battle of Vietnam, even though they lost. And the non-white characters are looking at each other, going like, "Didn't we lose that battle?" That's how much privilege these guys have. Even when they lose, they win. And you're just going like, "Oh!" Like just scathing kind of moments in this movie, and you're like, "Wow!" Just could not stop laughing. I mean, whether you agree with what's politically being said or not, it doesn't matter. It's just so absurdly hilarious. The fact that Thomas Edison is a Chinese woman, I mean...
That was awesome.
That was hilarious. I mean, really? Thomas isn't a girl's name. Well... my name's Thomas and I'm a woman, so it's just like... Just love the fact that they were trying to burn her at the stake for being a scientist. I mean, just like... God, it's such a funny movie. I hope they make more stuff. It doesn't have to be in the same, series. I just hope they kind of go in and come up with some more kind of just ridiculously funny concepts like that. Just really irreverent, as this was irreverent. This was like, they did not care. They were going like, no, this is funny. We're in America. We're supposed to, we're supposed to have a sense of humor. And I mean, Abe Lincoln died in a British werewolf attack. I mean, it just did not make the kind of sense that I think some people would want it to make. My favorite joke in the whole thing was Abe Lincoln's coffin. Had his hat sticking out the end because the coffin wasn't long enough, and you're just going like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. And then they show Abe Lincoln with his hat off, and his skull is really tall and fits inside the... Oh, jeez, so funny. Just so ridiculous.
Didn't George Washington give him the hat when they were younger because of his head being
I think that's how it goes. It's like, really? Really, guys?
Cover up that humongously large forehead, or the freakishly large forehead of yours, or something like that. For anybody wanting to check it out, it's
on Netflix, I think.
It's on Netflix, but it's bloody, gory.
It is not for kids in any way.
And it's absolutely tongue-in-cheek, and...
Oh, it's hilarious.
Yeah, if you are
It's actually a comedy, not like this safe American comedy BS we've been getting for 20 years in the movies.
If you are easily offended, then it's not
Yeah,
for
don't.
you.
If you are easily offended, do not watch this movie.
If you consider yourself a patriot, then this movie's not for you.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I would say that somebody, as long as you have a sense of humor, you're gonna like this movie. Sense of humor and like that style of humor, if you can't take shocking absurdity, then do not watch this movie. It is really absurd.
Which is why I said what I said, because a lot of those people who consider themselves patriots are like that.
I've known some. Yeah, you're right. I'm just simply saying though. I've also known some guys like that too that would really enjoy this. So it all depends. There are people out there with a sense of humor.
Yep. If you love something enough, you can find fault in it also and laugh about it.
Well, that's exactly where I come from. It's just like,
people need to be able to laugh. They shouldn't take offense to stuff like. I think some people have a hobby of taking offense, and it's just like, oh no, no. You taking really solid offense to stuff that's going to make you miserable. Only take offense to things that really are, I guess, harmful. But a dumb cartoon where George Washington defeats redcoats with chainsaws built into his arms, while a female Chinese Thomas Edison is shooting lightning out of her hands. I mean, if you're taking that seriously and you're getting mad over that, you need to really evaluate your life. It's just a silly, ridiculous comedy cartoon, and
it's the people who fall into the "I want to be oppressed so badly" squad.
Yes.
They want to be angry. They want to be oppressed. They want a reason to feel like they're a victim. So there you go.
Well, like my favorite, one of my favorite bits in there is George Washington. George Washington's wife was converted to a Brit, so she's a red coat with a white wig. Actually, I thought the design was really hot outside of the crazed teeth they gave her. And then she was blessed by American beer from the heavens and basically turns into the Statue of Liberty. I mean, it is just a ridiculous movie. And I believe it was in a British sky galleon, if I remember correctly. It was just some crazy stuff going on in this. I'm probably going to get the wrong Star Wars name. Is it the AT-ATs? Anyways, the giant walkers.
AT-ATs, yeah.
Yeah, the giant walkers. The Brits had double-decker bus versions of those, walking over a Revolutionary-era battlefield, fighting Americans with, trying to remember.
They also had the giant Persian elephants from like 300.
No, that's right. They all Brited them up. But yeah, no, the whole thing is just really ridiculous. And if anyone is taking this seriously, honestly, it is. I can see people not being their thing, and that's fine. I'm not judging that because it's really shockingly absurd and it's obscene, and it is. It's just rough. Like, it just does not care if you have feelings or not. But it is so funny. I mean,
For goodness sakes, Paul Revere is wearing knight armor. Medieval knight armor.
Paul Revere's wearing medieval knight armor. No idea. They never address it. It is never said why the heck that was happening. It's just you're just like, wait, what? Why is this happening? You never get an answer. At least not that I ever heard. Maybe there was something while we were laughing, and I don't know. I don't remember hearing an answer about that. But I love being able to draw with an eraser.
I'm finding myself doing that when I work on Procreate, and I'm putting down lines, and I hit. I'll just keep going over lines, and then I scope and erase them to get the shape that I want. That's kind of fun. Like all that art school stuff of drawing with an eraser, and I always just went. That's what I didn't say. I wouldn't exactly say that, but it was more of like along the lines of, you know what? Can we do something that I'm interested in? I did take the lessons to heart. It was just those lessons were kind of boring at some point.
Well, I think what it was, and I had some really brilliant teachers, but some of them, as brilliant as they were, liked the smell of their own shit.
Language.
You know what I mean? And you're kind of like, so there was moments where you're like, does this make sense to listen to this? Because some of them were super brilliant about stuff, but then they just could not recognize when they were being ridiculous.
That's the first time you swore on the set.
Was it? Oh, sorry.
Uh-huh.
But it's the proper term though. That's what I don't know a better way of putting it. Because we had a couple of them where they were brilliant up and down, like Mr. McDonald is the man.
Yeah.
A couple of them though that I had some real issues with, I still thought were awfully brilliant, but they were also like too used to just kind of nobody questioning them.
They
You're like,
were.
so you had these moments where like I had one, she was going like, well, sure you want to be a cartoonist, but wouldn't it be better if you made your cartoons 20 by 6 feet tall? And I'm like, why? And that was her whole thing. It'd be better if they were huge. And you just go like, wow, that was really revolutionary in the 60s. Meanwhile, I was learning that in the 90s, going like, what am I going to do with it? I don't even have a space 20 feet long to paint something like that. So you had these moments where later on she would say some really brilliant stuff, but it would be mixed in with stuff like that where you're going like, oh, what am I supposed to do with that, lady? You're doing a lot of other good stuff, but what is that? That's nutty. That's nutty time. I don't know what that is.
Professor, murals are cool.
All right. That's not too bad. I think that one turned out pretty good.
Yeah, it did.
She's a bit of a cutie. Look
Yeah, she
at that.
is. I like her. She's adorable.
But on the same note, she was a bit of a cutie in the show, so with lightning coming out of her.
Any chick that can shoot lightning is pretty cool in my opinion.
I got a thing for Asian chicks that shoot lightning, so just saying, it's kind of hot.
Have you ever drawn a Zula?
Oh, right, Azula. I was talking about Lum, but no, Azula. I don't really have a thing for Azula. She kind of scares me. Her sidekicks, on the other hand. Is it, okay. Anywho, I think that's good enough for now. So, whoop, ba-boom. All right. Boom.
We are going to be not available next week, so we won't be able to do any.
Oh, I don't know about that. I thought we set it up so we were available next week.
We're leaving to go out of town on Saturday.
Oh,
The week
right.
following is-
I'm thinking about a different one.
Yeah.
First, let me do the thing, and then we'll get to the thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. For anyone out there, I gotta do this because I'm trying to, build up some kind of basic following. Alrighty.
Gotta pay the bills.
Do you want a schedule of upcoming episodes and links to missed episodes sent to your email? Then go to supersecretprojectx.com/EricArt and sign up for my newsletter at the bottom of the page.
Yeah.
All right, almost there. Almost there. Gonna transition. There we go. Got transition. All right. Next week, I believe it is, by the way, in my newsletter, which is a crazy thing to say.
Well, the following week, not next week.
Well, yes. Give me a second on that whole mail thing. I'm doing the thing. I'm doing the pushing buttons thing.
Next time on Super Friends.
Okay. Let's see here. And you will get this on your email, by the way, if you sign up. So, yeah, that was today. Thomas Edison. It is the 15th today? It is the 15th. I got the dates right this time. I didn't go off my Amazon calendar like I did that one month. So next weekend we are on break. No stream, gotta go do stuff. After that though, August 29th at 4 p.m., we will be doing Man at Arms from the Masters of the Universe Revelations, because he is a monster of a man in that particular show, which we incredibly enjoy. So yeah, we're gonna do the thing, but we will not be here next weekend because we've got stuff we just got to go take care of. So everyone, have yourself a good week.
Take care. Drink lots of water. Be safe. Wear a mask. Don't be dumb.
Do all the stuff.
Yeah.
Eat donuts, vitamin donuts.
We are glad that you are alive. We like you.
Yeah.
Be well.
Yes. I'm trying to focus more, but I've got that slight headache thing happening. So, everyone have a good week. 2 weeks. We will catch you in 2 weeks. And meantime,